Back to the situation in Gaza. For the sake of elections in Israel, that's why they did. They attacked the Palestinian people. Over 100 Palestinians get killed. Over 5,000 people was injured. So many houses has been destroyed. Deja vu. Things has repeated itself. Same what happened in 2008, 2009 is being repeated now. By the same weapons, American-made, Israeli-made, Russian and British-made, killing innocent people. History repeats itself again. How is the outcome? How can this be justified? Situation on the ground as we speak, in the Palestinian people. I don't know, this may be true or not, but we believe, we saw at the at the Facebook, some people in Palestine, they have the Palestinian people has dropped an airplane. We don't know if this is an airplane with a camera, just remote control airplane, or it is an F-16. Rumors, they say the Palestinian Hamas has captured an Israeli pilot. Other story, they says the Israeli were shocked to find the Palestinian resistance. They were surprised with the weapons of rockets they have, which has reached Tel Aviv and after Tel Aviv. And that's where they're petrified and scared. And that's why Bill Clinton and Hilary and Obama, they were in the Far East when they toured, they cut it. And they came back running to the Middle East. You find all the Europeans, they came to the Middle East, to Israel, to control the situation. Something goes fishy there. Something is going wrong. The one who asked for a ceasefire is the Israeli, not the Palestinians. And the main points were clear to the world. Ceasefire. What's in the ceasefire? The Israeli must stop killing and murdering Palestinian activists, politicians or army, totally. Not to shoot any houses or anything. It was nearly 1 kilometer almost, or half a kilometer at the border of all Gaza Strip, or the district of the Strip, between them and the Israeli sides, or the Palestine 48, all that area, the Palestinians were not allowed to approach. That's all land, fertile land. This can be used for the agriculture. It was filled with oranges, farms of oranges, satsumas, bananas, olives. Is totally being digged to the ground, hills, small hills. The Palestinians, they have agreed with the Israeli through the Egyptians. The Israeli not to attack that piece of land. The Palestinians have the right to go back and work. The fishermen in the sea. Oslo Agreement gave us 12 kilometers in the sea, whereas the Israeli, through the time, they kept it to 3 kilometers. Was no any fish for the Palestinians. Anybody exceed this part, they used to shoot him to kill or to capture to be a prisoners. Now the Palestinians, they can go up to 12 miles on the sea. But the 2 days ago, 12 Palestinians has been captured by the Israeli, taken as prisoners. Whereas the day after, the Palestinians went back again to the same borders as agreed. No interference. The last couple of days again, the Israeli has broke the ceasefire. They broke the agreement. They killed 2 Palestinians and they injured 38 others, whom they went back to their ground. It was kind of a green zone. These people, they went back to use the agriculture. And the 2 persons who died, or the 2 people, 2 brothers, 17 and 19 years of age. These people get killed by the Israeli because they said, oh, they were planting, they're trying to or to throw rockets. They were digging the ground. They have their own cows and their donkeys to dig the ground, to turn it over, to fertilize it. They were not under resistance. For so many years, these people, they were scared to reach these areas, but now after the ceasefires, they start going back to their land to work on it. The Israeli doesn't want peace. If anybody will tell you the Israeli truly wanted peace, no chance. They threatened the Palestinian Authority. If you were to go to United Nations and to ask for recognitions, an observatory country with the United Nations, you will never have peace from us. We will tell you where to go. They were dictating the Palestinians. You do as you told, or otherwise. Otherwise what? You be scattered out and we take the land. What's new? Whenever we agree, as they call peace process, for the last 20 years, the peace process is being gone by the Palestinian Authority and the Israeli. Whenever we agreed on the table, and the ground's totally the opposite. We agreed no settlements, you find they're building houses more and more. No political prisoners, you find the Israeli every night, after 6 o'clock, to the after 12 midnight, till 6 o'clock in the morning, the control zone of the Palestinian, all the Palestinian West Bank, it is run by the Israeli. They can come up to any village, to any city, to anywhere, take any Palestinians they wish, nobody say otherwise. And they detained. So many people detained for a year and 2, 3, 4 years. No criminal records for them. No issues. No prosecutions. No nothing. Just being thrown in jail for the Israeli thinking he may be a terrorist to them. Or maybe he's thinking, come on, it's not alive. It's not kind of a peace what we're looking for. Israeli doesn't want peace. And the Americans are aware of that. And they're supporting the Israelis blindly. They aim to take the land of Palestine from the river to the sea to make it the state of Israel, secular state for the Jewish people, not any Arabs. The Palestinians, what they call it, the Israeli Arabs, there's nearly 2 million people there. The Israeli doing their best. They're terrorizing them. They have been bombarded them with so many taxes, heavy duty taxes, and you are not allowed to build. It doesn't matter anywhere in Israel. Any Palestinian person has got a home there. If your house needs rebuilding or refurbishment or re-repairs, whatever, you're not allowed to do so. You have to apply for permission, and lucky if you get there to go okay. If you were to repair anything and you have no permission, the tanks and the Israeli bulldozers that comes and will bulldoze the house. You have your land. If you were to go to build on it without permission from the Israeli, the whole land will be upside down and you are out. And you'll be paying for their own machinery to destroy your house, to bulldoze everything. You have to pay as well for their labor time and for their work time, for basically for their job to destroy your life. You have to pay for that. And on top of that, the breadwinner of that family sentenced to jail a year or 2 years. It depends on the situation. What's the mood of the judge at the time? The military court. So the situation, they don't want peace, they want it out. As a Palestinian, if the Israeli truly wanted peace, no direct dialogue, no direct negotiation with them. Whenever they call peace dialogue table, that's all lot of crap. It doesn't justify me as a Palestinian. If you want it, there's United Nations resolutions. Has been done so many years ago. More than 106 resolutions against the Israeli. None of them has been implemented. None of it has been forced on the Israeli to do so or to comply with these regulations. 194, the refugees around the world whom are Palestinians have the right to go back to their homeland. Half of the world's refugees are Palestinians. If you were to look at the whole planet Earth, how many refugees are around there? Half of them are Palestinians. We have 11.5 million Palestinians. What we have in West Bank and Palestine, 48 and 1967 land, nearly 4 million or 5 million max. The majority are refugees around the world. They withdrew from 1967 land unconditional. No negotiation of the matter. Same as United Nations did. Jerusalem, first of all. The old city, the Israeli has nothing into it. Whatever they call Jewish quarter, that used to be the Moroccan quarter. It was Arab from Morocco lived there. North Africa, he was living there. They came and destroyed it totally. It's been archived. It has been documented by the Israeli and Palestinians. That has belonged to the Palestinians, which they call the Jewish quarter in the old city. That has belonged to the Palestinians. They wanted war To me, as a religion, that's a load of crap. It's not in the Torah. That wall in wall, it is we call it Heart to Burak. That is where the Prophet Muhammad in Islam came before he descended to heaven. He tied his animal or creature, whatever, took him away. Anyway, they're most welcome to come and pray. We're not against that. But Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, where the Arab people lives up till now, is belonged to the Palestinians. Don't forget, all whole land of Palestine is to the Palestinians, not to the Israelis. We didn't came from around the world. We were there 5,000 years before Jesus was born. We were living in Palestine. History, everybody knows it. 1967 lands comes unconditional offer. No ties. You leave. Then we negotiate with the refugees how to go back. And then we start talking about security. You want Israeli security? Yeah, of course. Before that, Palestinian security. We are a human being. We've got ears, noses, eyes. We've got blonde, we've got black, we've got all different colors. Technicolor, we are mixed, same as them. Don't forget, Muslims and Christians and Jewish are cousins. They came from Isaac and Ishmael. They're two brothers for our father Abraham. Different mothers, but the same father. We are first cousins, so we look like each other. We can fit perfectly, no problem. If they wanted this, but through United Nations, that's what we call peace. Not to sit down at a table and load of crab and try to bluff each other. No, it doesn't work. Oh, let's swap lands in this area. No, I'm sorry. We have got United Nations map. Let's go back to that. You withdraw from 1967 exactly. Palestinian comes back in. The borders between Jordan and Egypt remains under the Palestinian state control. Has no Israeli to go there. We have there's no ties for us economical wise for the Palestinians. Look, as now, even after this ceasefire in Gaza, the Israeli demanded any agriculture, any building infrastructures repair, it must come through Israel, not through Egypt. And even they put restrictions. They want the Palestinians in Gaza now, after the ceasefire, to buy everything through the Israelis. And what they did, they stopped all the VAT returns to the Palestinian government. Is it due to the Palestinians X amount of million or billions? They refused to give it to the Palestinians. Why? Oh, you went to United Nations and they get recognition. We told you not to go there. Why did you go? That's it. Your money is being taxed. What kind of peace is this? After that, they killed the Palestinian people. After the ceasefire, they broke, as we mentioned earlier, 2 Palestinians and 38 injured. Is this kind of a peace? Situation in Gaza, as we speak, on the ground. Believe me, it's a catastrophe. Honestly, it's a catastrophe. With this weather, it's coming now, it's very cold. God knows how they're going to survive. They're suffering a hell of a lot badly, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a joke. There are people dying there. People, their loved ones, get killed in a cold blood. What did they do to deserve this life? What is their crime? We did not kill any Jew in our life before they came to our land. We didn't attack any Zionist or any Israeli. It's not us who killed the Israelis or the Jewish. Settlers, the German people, they are there. They're still paying them taxes and money to them till today. It's not us. Why are they taking their revenge on the Palestinian people? I'm a Palestinian from West Bank, originally from Haifa. I'm not allowed to go back to Palestine. 3 times I have been deported. Last time it was the flotilla. I didn't enter Palestine and they deported me. No, they captured me from the middle Mediterranean Sea, international waters. They took me to Palestine, occupied Palestine, which they called Israel, and they told me, you have to sign a statement, you have entered Israel illegally. But I didn't enter illegally. You took me you dragged me from the sea, and you put me in here. And you're telling me you're going to deport me because I entered illegally? I did not enter. You had a peace process with the Palestinians, and you left Gaza, yourselves, or your settlements, so you can have peace from the headaches. You give it to the Palestinian Authority. So that was a Palestinian state. We have every right to enter. But anyway, what we take in? We take in aid. Back for the last couple of minutes, I've been by my good friend here to ask me, we've got 5 minutes left. Situation in Gaza is catastrophic. Lack of water, lack of food, lack of medication. Most of the hospitals were being rebuilt after the first attack. 2008, 2009, 2012, 2013, which is we're about to, has been destroyed. Lack of medical equipment, lack of food as well, and clothing. Just as for Palestine, we are taking another aid convoy. This is number 4. And we are hoping we have got a list of medical equipment for certain 2-3 hospitals. Most of all, Dar es Salaam Hospital is based in Khan Yunis, in the middle of Gaza District, at the south of, between Rafah and Gaza City. And this hospital is really 50 floors. And when I went with the aid convoy last time, I visited the hospital. And honestly, the situation there is catastrophic. The beds, honest, if you were to see the beds, you would not even allow your pets, your dogs or cats, to sit on it. They have got an HP X-ray machine, long bed. Wow, what do you need one for? That's not working. How do you use X-ray? They've got small portable one. Honest to God, it was a joke. Sometimes works, sometimes they don't have that. Surgical equipment, they have hardly anything. So they sent us a list. I was planning to retire, and that's it. Gave up in all the politics. I'm getting old. I need to have a break. But it seems to be, that's in the blood. I'm a Palestinian. Proud to be a Palestinian, Scottish Palestinian, or Palestinian Scottish. It's my duty to help my people back home. I cannot sit down and see them suffering. I can have shower every morning or every night, whenever I wish. Doesn't matter, it was the weather outside. Freezing, hot, warm. We have all the facilities available. In Gaza, there is people lucky to have a wash once a month. I have cereal, breakfast, whenever I need. Fried eggs, toast, waffles, whatever. Lucky if they have a cup of tea with crumbs of bread. Honest to God, long ago, it's not long ago, in Jabalia camp, it was a lady speaking to the television. She was saying, my neighbor, he doesn't have money to buy wheat, to make a dough, to make bread. They don't have water to make a cup of tea. They've been going for nearly 3 weeks in a similar situation. The father had a couple of pounds with him. He needs to save it for his daughter's graduation or for his daughter's university fees in Al-Azhar University in Gaza. This is one small family. I have seen families in Gaza, ladies and gentlemen. Honest to God, I almost fainted or even collapsed of crying. I couldn't believe the condition they lived in. I can't describe it. Honest to God, there's a family of 15 members. They sleep in one room. Kitchen, bathroom, sitting room, bedrooms, one room. Father, mother, the whole kids. The oldest, 17 years old daughter. I've got photographs of them recorded. We give them some donations from Justice for Palestine. Every family we give, we get documented photographs, their names, everything, and we are still helping them as we go along. But our collection is very poor, very slow, because there's so many organizations in Glasgow. They're collecting for Syria, for Palestine, for other crises around the world. That's the situation. I'll finish my talk now. And yes, we are so many of us, but you are free to ask any questions in any level, at anything occurred in your mind. I am more than happy to answer it. And thank you very much for giving me this time and this opportunity to express my feelings and the truth, what's happening in Palestine. I assure you, God is my witness, no word what I have said tonight any word of a lie or exaggeration. All what I have said is the truth and the true pictures what's happening in Palestine. Thank you very much.